You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900.
Thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices on this Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. Good evening. I'm Chris Palermo, and here's what's happening. A Las Vegas man has been rebooked in Clark County after officials identified him as the suspect in a 2024 murder. News 25 has this story.
A 30-year-old man, DeAndre Owens, has been identified as the suspect in a homicide case that dates back to August 2024. Owens was already in custody at the Clark County Detention Center on charges relating to open murder with a deadly weapon, and he was rebooked on February 25, 2025 for additional charges. The new charges include open murder with a deadly weapon, kidnapping in the first degree, and several other criminal offenses. The investigation began on August 9, 2024, when Las Vegas Metro received a report of a human remains being discovered near Lake Mead Boulevard. Upon arrival, officers found a body of a male in advanced state of decomposure. The following day, an autopsy confirmed that the victim had died from a gunshot wound to the head. The Las Vegas Metro Homicide Section is still continuing to investigate this case, which remains active, and the Clark County Coroner's Office will release details following the victim's identity, cause, and manner of death in due time. Anyone with information about this incident is urged to contact the Las Vegas Metro Homicide Section at 702-828-3521.
More news now. United Spaceports Corporation CEO Rob Lauer traveled out to Pahrump earlier this month to give a presentation at the Nye County Water Board meeting. And here's a look at the plans Lauer has in store for the spaceport.
United Spaceports Corporation CEO Rob Lauer provided the Nye County Water District Governing Board an in-depth presentation on the upcoming Las Vegas Spaceport during its February meeting. This spaceport is located in Clark County, but within boundaries of Pahrump's groundwater basin number 162 is set to be a major aerospace project in the region.
We're right now in phase one, which is the runway. Phase one includes a 5,000-foot runway, hangars, an access road that's been already approved by the BLM, and then phase two will go, and that also phase two includes an FBO or private jet terminal, and potentially a hotel. And phase three would include obviously a spaceport license from the FAA. That is in progress right now as we speak with the FAA. It's about a 2-year project to get the FAA to approve a license. But that doesn't mean we're able to launch anything. So it's just a license to maybe launch something in the future. So every single spacecraft that would be used at that site would have to go through its own environmental impact study with the FAA, with the federal government, with all the relevant agencies before it could launch at all. And right now, just to be honest, there are no rockets at this point that are approved to be used at an interior spaceport facility. They're all right now used at Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg on the coasts.
Lauer addressed the board's questions, particularly regarding the environmental effects of rocket fuel being used at the spaceport.
I obviously am very concerned about environmental impacts. We plan to use solar on our projects. We plan to use hydrogen power backup generators. And by the way, a lot of the new rockets coming out and new technologies are employing hydrogen, which is basically water vapor in the air. So there's a huge push in the space industry, frankly, for sustainability. Huge push for sustainable technologies, for remedial environmental impact. So it's a very critical issue that we don't damage the environment.
Lauer also outlined key components that the Las Vegas Spaceport's design and operations will include, which aims to minimize any potential environmental impacts, including AI monitoring and testing of soil, energy spill or leak cleanup plans, dedicated storage tanks and transfer lines, closed-loop systems, leak detection systems, containment measures, and waste disposal systems. The Nye County Water Board expressed its appreciation for Lauer's transparency and commitment to environmental safety. Further discussions and updates on the project will continue as the spaceport progresses.
And Democratic Representative Susie Lee released a video on social media discussing the recent layoffs that the Trump administration is overseeing, and News 25 has the details.
Congresswoman Susie Lee responded to Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency for allegedly firing 13 workers at the Lake Mead Natural Recreation Area, stating that it is reckless and we're going to fight it.
I just found out that Elon Musk's DOGE task force has hit pretty close to home, laying off 13 members of the staff of Lake Mead National Recreation Area. What does this mean? First of all, Lake Mead is one of the busiest national parks in the country and one of the deadliest. Not only that, one of the employees that was let go is responsible for monitoring the water quality to make sure you are not swimming in polluted water. And in fact, they just lifted a health advisory for toxic algae last week. So we know that Lake Mead in our tourism economy is so vitally important. 5.8 million visitors a year, $358 million of economic impact. We already know that they don't have enough employees to man the gates. Anyone who's been out there on a weekend standing in line for hours, this is dangerous for the employees, it's dangerous for our visitors, but more importantly, this does absolutely nothing to save you one dime at the gas pump, one dime at the grocery store, or lower your housing costs. This is reckless, and we're going to fight it.
According to a report from KTNV, federal layoffs also affected the Great Basin National Park. As of February 14th, Great Basin has 5 fewer employees to run operations that oversee the park's unique features. Park advocates say that the permanent staff cuts may force national parks to cut operating hours and could impact public safety and resource protection.
Coming up, our Las Vegas correspondent Maria Centers is telling us what is happening with President Trump today. You're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
And welcome back to News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. Second Amendment rights have been launched into a new era under President Donald J. Trump and his cabinet. Our News 25 Las Vegas correspondent Maria Centers now joins us from Southern Nevada's BLM lands with a seasoned professional trainer versed on the matter.
KPVM Television had the opportunity to speak with local firearms expert and instructor Russ Martin, who offered his take on the new 47th presidential administration with regard to the Second Amendment and why it's so vital to preserve all of our open land here in Southern Nevada. We haven't spoken to you since President Trump scored his monumental and unprecedented second presidential term. What does this mean for the Second Amendment and the firearms industry at large?
Well, it's great because we've got a constitutional president in the White House. President Trump has already given instructions to our Attorney General to go over all the anti-Second Amendment laws that President Biden enacted, go through to see which ones violate the Second Amendment and get rid of them. We've got a pro-gun FBI with Kash Patel. Basically, we've got pro-Constitution people in the offices where they need to be. So this should unwind the anti-gun laws that President Biden enacted.
And as we know, at the end of campaign season 2024, Kamala came out with allegedly she has a gun but wanted to take ours. What is the underlying message here about that?
Privilege. Basically, I can have a gun to protect myself, but you don't need one. Also, you got to look at the fact that they have armed guards. They have an army of armed guards. We don't. One of the things that has that has been brought to light during the last 4 years. These places, these no gun-free zones, if they're a gun-free zone, then whoever makes it a gun-free zone is now liable for your security and safety.
Specifically, what do you think this 47th presidential term will do for firearms rights and the preservation of the Second Amendment as we know it?
I think it's going to be good for America as a whole, because going back to following the Constitution versus following some ideology which is not compatible with the Constitution.
Southern Nevada is home to an array of Bureau of Land Management lands. How can we all respect it and preserve it so we can use it for future generations to come?
A lot of the desert areas are becoming trash heaps because people just take the stuff out, shoot it, and just leave it out in the desert. Some areas have been shut down because of that. When you go out, enjoy the land, but leave it as good or better than the way you found it.
Nevada is home to approximately 48 million acres of open land. Reporting from Clark County and getting it over the hump to the sunny desert oasis of Pahrump, with coverage in both counties, I'm Maria Centers for News 25 Las Vegas.
Thank you very much, Maria. Zion National Park has reopened a section of the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive following a rock fall that temporarily halted traffic and prompted evacuations.
The incident occurred around 3:19 on Monday, February 24th, between Great White Throne, Pullout, and the Big Bend shuttle stop. According to officials, park rangers quickly responded to the scene, stopping traffic in both directions and safely evacuating visitors from the area north of the rockfall. The road remained closed for 24 hours to allow for monitoring and assessment of the site by a park physical scientist. It would later reopen at 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, February 25th. Park officials say a 7-meter by 10-meter block of Navajo sandstone failed, with several 1-meter size blocks impacting and covering both lanes below. Officials believe that the rooting of vegetation and high temperatures likely caused the rockfall.
More news now. Sheriff Joe McGill, as well as NCSO deputies, attended dinner with the residents at Inspirations Senior Living earlier this week. Here is our sheriff with the details.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe McGill. Tonight is Tuesday evening, and we are here at Inspirations. We're here having dinner with the residents here at Inspirations. What happened was we've had a couple of previous events. We've come down and had breakfast with the people here. And so they got a hold of us and they asked us if we'd like to come down and have dinner. So we got a hold of the local Smith store. They provided us with tri-tip, and we've got asparagus and baked potatoes and cake and drinks. No alcohol. Somebody forgot to bring that. And so we're just having a good time, sitting around talking with the folks here. The point of this is that we like to get out into the community, mingle with people, talk with them, let them know that we are approachable. Some of these people maybe don't get out very much, and so this gives them an opportunity to interact with people that are they're not usually around. So the deputies enjoy it. We've probably got about 12 deputies here, and everybody's sitting around talking and have a good time and eating some good food.
Coming up in sports, the Las Vegas Raiders are making some off-season moves, and of course your weather forecast. Coming up, you're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
And welcome back to News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. The Las Vegas Raiders have their eyes set on a new quarterback. Here's Mikey to bring you all the details with today's sports report.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Vegas Golden Knights back in action on Thursday. They welcome the Chicago Blackhawks. Las Vegas Raiders are expected to have interest in acquiring Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford as he talks to other teams, according to multiple reports. Los Angeles is allowing Stafford to speak with other teams about his value, though he has not formally requested a trade. The Athletic's Diana Rossini reported Wednesday that Stafford has attracted interest from the Raiders and New York Giants, which could lead the Rams to drive up their asking price if they decide to make a trade. As the Las Vegas Aces get ready for the 2025 season, the team is reshaping its identity by adding stars Jewel Lloyd and Liz Kitley, who were introduced at the team's headquarters on Tuesday. Lloyd is an elite scorer who averaged 19.7 points per game last season, one of the most in the league. She also has won 2 WNBA titles and is used to a winning culture. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
All right, thank you very much, Mikey. The circus is coming to Pahrump. Once again, here's a look at what you can expect from the Jordan World Circus.
Excitement is coming your way. Direct from Las Vegas, Nevada, the Jordan World Circus is bringing you an all-new fun-filled adventure.
You'll see for the first time ever the amazing Mongolia troupe from West Africa, the Silla brothers on the double wheel of destiny,
And motorcycle daredevils in the Globe of Death.
aerialist acrobats, funny clowns,
Plus, our circus superstars, the Performing Elephants. Come early and ride the rides at this year's Shrine Circus.
at the Pahrump McCullough Arena, Wednesday, March 12th at 6:30 p.m.
www.thejordanworldcircus.com.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
It's the Lerner and Rowe weather cam right here in Pahrump, the Calvetta Eye. So you see a lot of nature down there. The wild horses have been hanging out there. We have some ducks and, very importantly, maybe some geese, but your complete weather forecast coming up in just a bit.
Good evening, Nevada. My name is Roy Rossell, coming to you from the Channel 25 Weather Studios and taking a look at Nevada right now up in northern Nevada. Fernley is at 63 degrees, Fallon is at 64, Carson City at 62, Tonopah at 61, Goldfield also at 63, Beatty at 74, Amargosa at 78, Las Vegas at 76, and Death Valley is at 89 degrees. But here in the beautiful Paradise of Pahrump, we are currently at 73 degrees. It was sunny today. The high was 77 degrees, wind blowing north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. The humidity was also 8%, and the sun rose this morning at 6:17 and sets tonight at 5:36 p.m. The humidity raises up just 10% to 18%, and the wind continues to blow east-northeast at 9 miles per hour. The low tonight's going to be 42 degrees. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. We will no longer be seeing 80s, unfortunately. We're going to be seeing 70s until this Saturday. On Sunday, we go down into the 60s and 50s on Monday. So on Thursday, we're seeing 72, 75 on Friday, 73 on Saturday, 67 on Sunday, and 59 on Monday, 64 on Tuesday, and back down to 60 on Wednesday. So we are going to have to bust back out our coats with spring forward coming next Sunday. That's going to be it. Back to the desk. Here's Chris.
Thank you, Miss Roselle. That looks super, and we're living that country music song, Sunny and 75 all week. That'll just about do it for all of us here tonight. I'm Chris Palermo for News 25. Make it a great night.